taking over my land. Much too much political corruption. Talk about race only cause more confusion. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. We morals and we money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. We need to make some much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in the place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented, what a judicial disgrace. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thieving the soul of a nation. 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 Somebody thieving the soul of a nation.
In analyzing the stories that are heard all around the world, there is much concern and discussion with every man, woman, boy, and girl. For cup steepling cost small. Though technology have increased, living standards are taking a fall. We find it hard to keep up with all the high prices. From the shop to the store, your bills daily increases. Now, when bellies are going hungry, emotions get very angry. Are we prepared for the hardship in this country? So when you see children and adults seem to be rude and crude, the harsh reality is they can't afford to buy food. Now can you imagine when you get your paycheck? Though you sacrifice, it still can't meet your budget. In these hard times, when things don't seem to be good, it's depressing the mind and killing the mood. Milk and sugar have gone up. Rice and flour have gone up. Gas and transportation, we'll soon have to do without them. Bread and butter have gone up. Even drinking water has gone up. Your electricity, they're going up on that daily. A working man like me and you and our women, them struggling too. I am sure that you can't deny these prices are way too high. They blaming and finger pointing to the world's oil costs, but only a few rich gaining, and the poor majority is at an all-time loss. Leaders wondering what can be done, so they move into biofuel, burning crops for energy, while oil heading to $200 a barrel. Today we really don't know what's the best option. Where to go, what to do in this case, we are still left with questions. To get a loan, the banks are concerned. A young man building a house, it's no fun. It is challenging to hear steel 5,000 a ton. Yet we gave up on the land. Planting ain't no more. Are we not listening to? Farm today or starve tomorrow. Now can you imagine by not having a price control? It's like strengthening the rich and starving the poor and old. Hard at work every day for $2,000 a month. You're trying your best, but it's no more than a scrunch. Cost of labor, sand, cement and lumber. Landlord discontent, so they're doubling up your house rent. Freight and duties, most fruits and veggies. TV, telephone, might have to take them from our home. A working man like me and you and our women, them struggle. comfortable enough just to cope with this crisis, so a better life we can live. Families desperately trying very hard to make ends meet, hustling here and hustling there, moments of despair, but you can't retreat. Government feel obliged to chip in and bring some relief, trying to stem prices that can turn us into a thief, while desperation is kicking in, all around prices increasing. Is this to Armageddon we are heading? Everywhere people in a rage, now they're wearing a frown, crying out, oh Lord, help bring these high prices down. Now can you imagine a family with plenty children? After school books and fees, it's difficult to buy food for them. Things are getting serious, the issues are getting worse. Food and clothes are priority, but education come first. Shoes and sneakers, snacks and crackers, bus for transportation, we'll soon have to do without them. Bread and butter, even drinking water, your electricity, they're going up on that daily. A working man like me and you and our women them struggling too. I am sure that you can't deny these prices are way too high.
Got to find a solution to this pollution. Oh, oh, oh. Got to find a solution to this pollution. Yeah. Got to find a solution to this pollution. Oh, gotta find a solution to this pollution. The poor man I feel it, oh, the poor man I feel it, yeah. The poor man I feel it, oh, the poor man feel it, yeah. Gas gone up, bus fare gone up, rent gone up, phone bill gone up, light bill gone up, tax gone up, car parts gone up, and we can't take the fuss, and there has got to be a solution to this pollution. Yeah, gotta find a solution to this pollution. They're growing, gotta find a solution to this pollution. Whoa, 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 whoa. Gotta find a solution to this pollution. Only the poor man I feel, yeah. The poor man I feel, oh, the poor man feels, I know. Only him feels, yeah.
solution to this your pollution right now. Yeah. Got to find a solution to this pollution. Promises won't help. You got to find a solution to this pollution. We've been waiting for a solution to this pollution. Only the poor man I feel it, yeah. Only them I feel it, oh. Only the poor man I feel it, yeah. Only him I feel it, oh. Only the poor man I feel it every time. Only the poor man feel it, yeah. Only the poor man I feel it, yeah. Keep on feeling everything I am feeling.
We ready? Good night to the people of District 7. Good night to the people of Anguilla. Good night to the people who's listening via social media. We are here. The whole team is here. And tonight, we are going to launch, and I don't like to say launch because he have a lot of years in the business, Mr. CARDIGAN Connor. We are here to launch District 7, your representative, the Honorable CARDIGAN Connor. So I'd like to say thank you all for coming out, and thank you for listening via the social media platform. And I forget, Class FM, live stream. Tonight, I hope that you're prepared for what we have to present, and we have a long lineup, but it won't be a long meeting. So, before we get into the meat of the meeting, we would like to have the national song. Thank you. Thank you. We will ask Mr. Dr. McDonough to open us up in a word of prayer. Dr. McDonough.
Good night, Anguilla, and good night to District 7. We are thankful for this opportunity where we can stand on these grounds once again in this election season. We look to God and His guidance in prayer. Father, we thank you for who you are. We thank you that you are our strength, our hiding place. We declare today that as we stand on these grounds, that this meeting will be a meeting, oh God, that will touch the hearts of people all across this island. Those that are listening by social media, may they hear clearly the views and the issues that are confronting this nation. We ask each blessings upon each speaker this evening through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Dr. McDonough. Sorry for, he's now Dr. McDonough, so he's now graduated and he's sharing the title of doctor. Residents of District 7, we are here. The AUF team is right in your background, right in your backyard. And I will start by saying this. I don't know if you see those or you listen to Trump around saying that card is missing. I don't like to jump out and attack first, but I would have to attack tonight because tonight is not going to be any ordinary night. But Trump says, Trump from District 6, and I hope everybody knows that Trump is from District 6. He said card is missing, he cannot find Cardi. But Cardi is always in his district, unlike Trump of District 6, who now comes around after 4.5 years to come in District 6. So tell Trump, Cardi is not missing. Cardi is always around. So tonight, to get the ball rolling, our first speaker is none other than Mr. Devon Carty. Mr. Devon Carty.
Hey, good night, 7.
Help, somebody help.
How's everybody doing? How we all feeling? Yeah, thank you. Because sometimes we need that. We need the energy. You know what? I'm passionate about politics. Because politics is really one of the most significant activities in our life. When you get politics right, is everything. When you get it wrong, everything goes wrong. I disagree strongly with people who say they don't want to get involved in politics. But we all need to understand politics done wrong is every war. First World War, Second World War. Politics is Haiti. Politics is Ukraine. Politics is Russia. Politics is Venezuela. And right now, politics is Anguilla. It's the first time in the history of Anguilla that we've seen this sort of politics. It's the first time in the history of Anguilla that we've seen politicians prepared to use, abuse, and gaslight the constituents of this nation. To what end? Their own personal benefits, their own pockets, their own families. Meanwhile, the majority of people in Anguilla are suffering. I will never forget the instance of Kenneth Richardson Cakes from this very district when he fell ill and he was having a tough time, waiting, hoping, depending on his people. And the words of Premier Ellis will always stick in my mind. Instead of rushing to help, after some thought, his response was, if you're sick, sell your land. I don't think we've ever hated each other as much as I've seen that sort of, I can only call it hatred and disrespect for one of his own. But yet, here we are today. We don't have money for health, but we have money for everything else, including a big old party up in District 1. Imagine that. It's a strong case for not putting the people first, which is something that it's not a campaign slogan for the AUF, you know. It is how we live our lives, not only as individuals, but as a party. Which is why I'm always so comfortable working along, sitting, talking, plotting, planning, coming up with ideas for the betterment of this country with my co-candidates in the AUF. I need everybody to support and give them a round of applause because these people have heart. Let me hear some hands, man. We have to be passionate about Anguilla. Because if we are not passionate about Anguilla, if we are lazy, if we are prepared to sit back and watch and not defend, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're just going to continue pulling the rug from under our feet as they've been doing for the past 4 and some years. Get up, stand up, like Bob said. Be involved for your rights, for your country. We have to be passionate. And I'll tell you something, the AUF is passionate. Not only passionate about winning, but passionate about administrating. As a matter of fact, I would dare say that most of our conversations are about the future of this country. That is what we talk about when we meet. That's important. And I am proud to say that every single member of the AUF carries that gene. We don't care because it's campaign time. We have always cared. Check the records of the persons who are involved in the AUF, and you will see their work from the day of birth. They are those kind of people. This is not pretense. This is real. I hear it all the time. Simple and juvenile tactics. Where is Cardi? We all know where Cardi is. And we all know where Cardi stands. With his people and for his people. And I've never seen anything that says that I should doubt that strength of that character. I love Cardi. Cardi exhibits the best qualities of any human being. Let's start with Coach. Let's start with him taking out the time to show young Anguillians a way. That's critical. Let's talk about his patience. Let's talk about his patience. Because to me, that is one of Cardi's greatest assets. He can sit and he can listen. Cardi has no ego. Cardi is a peacemaker. Cardi is a deal maker. Cardi looks out for his and his own. We have seen politics in Anguilla go a route that we've never seen before. We've seen the ugly face of selfishness. We've seen the ugly face of greed. We've seen backdoor deals. We've had the unanswered questions. That's not Cordy. Upfront and honest. And today is Cordy's day. So I'm not here to take too much time away from him because I know that he has a lot to say to his people. And I also know that the rest of my team have a lot to say also. So I'm not going to hold up this spot too much. But please, not only for the AUF, but for the sake of yourselves and your future generations, we need to get back a government that cares. We need to get back in office people with ethics. We need to put back in office people who are prepared to lead, not mislead. We need to do away with the maliciousness and the lies that petty politicians, that's all they have. No ideas, no vision, lies, maligning, misleading. And I dare say that on this podium, and anyone can come and challenge me on that, because my record speaks for itself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate it. I look forward to representing all of Anguilla. I look forward to unifying this country. I look forward to taking this country into the future. And in order to do that, we would want the support of each and every one of you for every member of the AUF team. We don't promise to care, we care. And that is what our calling card is. No pretense, no illusions, no lies, no maligning, no pettiness, no juvenile delinquents in the AUF. Grown folk prepared to take care of grown folk business. Everybody have a good night. Thank you very much for your time. Be passionate about Anguilla.
I wasn't going to say nothing because I know what some of all you go say. But I can't stand by any longer and watch my country go in this way. The affairs of the state in chaos, causing citizens too much pain. So to hell with who vex and whatever come next, I ain't staying quiet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carty. And before we continue, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of former Premier, Mr. Banks. Good night, Mr. Banks. Thanks for your service to Anguilla. 10 years, you got it right. And I know in the next coming election, you won't get it wrong. You will get it right again. I will say to you, my grandmother always said, if something is not broke, don't fix it. So you have a representative, Mr. CARDIGAN Connor, who's always here, and he always cares. Unlike your friendly people at APM who don't care about nobody but themselves. So ladies and gentlemen, people of Anguilla, you can make this change. You can get back Anguilla for the Anguillans. You can be Anguilla first, not Anguilla last. Your businesses can be protected if you support the AUF. So make sure that you make the correct choice in electing all 11 candidates of the Anguilla United Front. And I say that with no bones. All 11. 11 is not too much. If we could get 12, we'll take the 12 too. So our next speaker is of the island-wide candidate, Mr. Jason Bryan. Welcome, Jason Bryan, to the platform.
No, this land is yours, but it's mine also. And the future lies in our hands. I want you to know.
Good evening. Good evening. Let me hear those horns. Blow them. Good evening, my fellow Anguillians. People listening via social media and the diaspora. Buenas noches a todos los presentes. A las personas escuchando vía redes sociales y a la diáspora. Special good evening to my people of District 7. The district that saw me grow. Tonight, I stand before you not just as a voice of the Anguilla United Front, but as someone who, like every single one of you, cares deeply about the future of our youth, our athletes, and the people of Anguilla. We are here to talk about what matters most, our people. And Mr. Cardigan Connor, your best choice in District 7. We must face the hard truth that what the current government has done or has failed to do is to protect the interest of the people of Anguilla. Youth is the heartbeat of our nation, the dreamers who will shape Anguilla tomorrow. But instead, this government, instead of equipping them, this government has kept them vulnerable. Youth unemployment is very high, leaving too many of our young people without jobs, without hope, and for some, without a path to go forward. For almost 5 years, we've seen more promises than progress. How many job creation programs have we seen? How many entrepreneurial initiatives have been truly founded? Words don't feed families. And words don't inspire. When it comes to education, the story is no better. The very system meant to prepare our youth for success is outdated and underfunded. Critical thinking is stifled. Vocational training, so vital to many of our young people, has not been adequately prioritized. What kind of future are we building for our youth? And then there's sports. Sports is more than just games. They are avenues for discipline, teamwork, and pride. But under this government, sports have been treated as a second thought. We still lack of proper facilities. Our young athletes struggle to train, let alone to compete in the international atmosphere. Promises of better infrastructure have been delayed years after years. How many international competitions could we have hosted by now? How many talented young athletes have we failed because they didn't have the resources to go further? The government lack of action is not just neglect. It's a betrayal to our youth. It's a betrayal to the dreamers that would like to succeed tomorrow. It's a betrayal to the people of Anguilla looking to build a stronger and prouder Anguilla. But District 7, you have an option, and it's the best option in District 7. It's to continue with Mr. Cardigan Connor, representing a district filled with people of love, peace, and care. But not as opposition. We need him as part of the government to be able to continue delivering and putting the people of Anguilla first. We can look at his record in tourism, My first time learning to play cricket was thanks to Mr. Cardigan Connor, who decided that he would support the young boys. Mr. Connor is a man of community. So when you hear them ask, where's Mr. Connor? I would like you to respond to them boldly. He is with his people in District 7. My people, we need to provide our youth with the resources for them to succeed in this modern, changing world. We need to prioritize our education system. We need to build modern sports facilities to attract more sports development. We need to create interconnected community hubs. But let's be clear, none of this will happen under this current government. They've had almost 5 years, and what have they done? Where are the results? They have proven time and again that they lack the vision, the will, and the urgency to deliver for the people of Anguilla. This government is content with empty promises and delayed actions, while our youth lose faith and our athletes lose opportunities. We cannot afford another 5 years. We cannot afford another 5 years of broken promises. We don't want any more promises. We want people willing to work for the success of the people of Anguilla. The AUF is the only team that will put the people of Anguilla first. And tonight, I ask for your vote for the entire team of the Anguilla United Front. Vote for a better Anguilla. Vote for putting people first. And don't just vote for one or two of our candidates. Vote for all 11 AUF candidates. Because we are stronger together. And together, we will deliver for the people of Anguilla. So when you go to the polls, think about the child who dreams of becoming a doctor or an engineer. Think about the young football player who dreams of representing Anguilla on the world stage. Think about the kind of Anguilla you want to leave for the next generation. We have a choice to continue down a path of neglect or to build a future of opportunity. The AUF is ready to build that future for everyone. Are you ready to join us? My people of Anguilla, are you ready to join the team of the Anguilla United Front to build a future of opportunities? And as everyone may know, I represent more than one community. My people of Anguilla, I also represent the Spanish community, and I would like to address them in the language. Mis compatriotas, tengo un gozo interno y externo, porque ya los bisnietos no necesitan contrato de trabajo. Primero, les quiero dar las gracias a Dios. Segundo, a la líder y primera mujer, la primera próxima mujer premier de Anguilla, la señora Miss Cora Richardson Hodge, por haber pensado no solo en los nietos, sino también en los bisnietos en el momento de modificar la Constitución de Anguilla. Sabemos que debido a que el AUF perdió las elecciones en el 2020, la señora Cora Richardson Hodge no pudo completar el proceso de los bisnietos. Pero tenemos claro que hay un récord de que ella fue quien inició este proceso y les agradecemos. También vamos a agradecer al ministro actual por un largo tiempo de espera, pero cercano a las elecciones, terminó un proceso que ya se había iniciado, dándole a los bisnietos una estadía más sostenible. Con eso me siento feliz y seguiremos trabajando y siendo esa voz de lucha para que mejores cosas se logren. dominicanos y dominicanas. La juventud es el latido de nuestra nación. Los soñadores que darán forma a Anguilla en el día de mañana. Pero, en lugar de empoderarlos, este gobierno los ha dejado vulnerables. El desempleo juvenil es alto, dejando a demasiados jóvenes sin empleo, sin esperanza y para algunos sin un camino a seguir. Durante casi 5 años hemos visto más promesa que avance. ¿Cuántos programas de creación de empleo hemos visto? ¿Cuántas iniciativas empresariales han sido financiadas realmente? Las palabras no alimentan a las familias y las palabras no inspiran sueños. Y luego está el deporte. El deporte es algo más que un juego. Es una vía para la disciplina, el equipo en trabajo y el orgullo. Pero bajo este gobierno, el deporte se ha tratado como algo secundario. Seguimos careciendo de instalaciones adecuadas. Nuestros jóvenes atletas tienen dificultades para entrenar, por no hablar de competir a nivel internacional. Las promesas de mejorar las infraestructuras se han retrasado año tras año. ¿Cuántas competiciones internacionales podríamos haber organizado ya? ¿A cuántos jóvenes atletas de talentos hemos fallado porque no tenían los recursos para llegar más lejos? La falta de acción de este gobierno no solo es negligencia, es una traición a nuestra juventud. Es una traición a nuestros sueños de una Anguilla más fuerte y orgullosa. Dominicanos votantes en el Distrito 7, dígase Long Bay, Mids Bay, El Cove, West End, ustedes tienen la mejor opción y es votar por Cardigan. Un hombre que ha sido cercano y participativo en la comunidad. Su récord en turismo es solo una muestra de los grandes cambios que ha hecho y que ha de seguir realizando. Su aporte al deporte de manera voluntaria demuestra su compromiso con la comunidad. Mis compatriotas, esta noche yo les pido su voto por Cardigan en el Distrito 7 y también por nosotros los candidatos nacionales. Por nombre, Joseph Vanterpool, Kyle Hodge y este servidor, Jason José Bryan. Cuando vayan a votar, voten por nuestro candidato en el distrito y nuestros 4 candidatos a nivel nacional. Vota por el AUF, el Faro. Vota por una mejor Anguilla. Vota por poner a las personas primero. Vota porque las personas necesitan que lo tomen en cuenta, no solamente las infraestructuras. Necesitamos tus 5 votos porque juntos somos más fuertes. Así que cuando vayan a votar, piensa en tu hijo que sueña con ser médico o ingeniero. Piensa en el joven futbolista o beisbolista que quiere ser o representar a Anguilla en la escena internacional. Piensa en el tipo de Anguilla que les quieres dejar a la próxima generación. Tenemos una elección: seguir por el camino del abandono o construir un futuro de oportunidad. El AUF, Anguilla United Front, está dispuesto a crear un futuro de oportunidad. Ahora yo les pregunto, ¿están ustedes listos para acompañarnos en ese futuro de oportunidad? Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you to all my people of Anguilla. Together, let's take our island forward. Vote AUF because together Anguilla deserves better. Thank you.
Government that we put in charge. Incompetence is creating problem. I say down with them. Don't hesitate. Down with them. No time to wait.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. District 7, Anguilla. I want to give you a little story. It wouldn't be too long. tell me what have the APM government did that wasn't in chaos. Every single thing this administration touch turns into chaos. And I'll name a few. And the most recent one is the fish processing plant. We have Anguilla, PPA story.
That this is the people's land, yes, they must understand the power of any land resides in the people's hands. Aye. The incompetence is too blatant, and cronyism is the cause. Nepotism is running rampant, going against all decency and laws. Where's the spiritual and moral values?
Sorry about that. But we'll continue. So I was saying before, every single thing they put their hands on, it have a problem. Carnival, problem. Boat racing, problem. AI, problem. Social Security, problem. Fish processing plant, more problems. So one thing we can say is very consistent about the APM. They only know chaos. And then they will come back trying to fix it after the chaos have escalated to a height where they can't take it. And the history shows, for 4.5 years, every week, something goes wrong. GST, which was supposed to be a bad, destructive tax, like Yellow Dad, today is the best tax. Very, very amazing bunch of government ministers. But tonight, you have behind me a very good team, a people caring team, some people who won't disrespect you as much as this APM government disrespect you. Overseas voters was called tourist voters. But I'm welcoming every single Anguillian overseas. Once your name is on the voters list, fly in, come by plane, come by boat, make sure you're in Anguilla so you can show the Premier that the tourist votes will count in 2025 and Anguilla will be restored in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is none other than, I call him Mr. AI, because he have all the knowledge in that area. But they would not come to him. That's our man. We will fix the AI problem when we come to power. So none other, the next speaker, Mr. Honorable Jose Vanterpool.
Good evening, District 7. Good evening, West End. Good evening to all Anguillians who took the time out to come and join us in a time of celebration as we launch our candidate this evening, as well as to all of those who are joining us virtually or via the radio. Thank you. Now, I know it's been a long time since we had a public meeting in West End. We would have had some town halls. We'd have had some community walkthroughs. But with that being said, it feels even more fitting and good to start off the new year by joining you, the West End community, to start off our political campaign for the 2025 year. Thank you. The reason that we are here this evening is to launch a candidate who is no stranger to any of you. In fact, he's your current representative, and we are sure that following the next general election, he will be returning as your next representative, the Honorable Mr. Cardigan Connor. So I really enjoyed the Christmas period, the festive season, and most of all, the break from politics that tend to come with it. But now that we're in the new year and politics is fresh in the air, you know that we're about to jump into the heart of what is known as our silly season. And we have already seen it, the misinformation, the disinformation, the videos of Trump and Obama getting involved in Anguilla's politics. And in everything that kept on being said, I know some other speakers addressed it already. But the thing that ultimately puzzled me is, the best them got to say about Cardi is, where's Cardi? That's the best you got to say about Cardigan? Anybody who knows Cardi knows the answer to that question. Cardi is in his community. Cardi is in his district. Cardi is with his people. So the fact that you could even go out there and say, where's Cardi? First of all, that's telling me that you ain't got nothing bad to say about the man, because if that's all you could come up with, you ain't had nothing. Second of all, it shows me, because the people who are asking those questions weren't people from this district. In fact, it's people who know better but want to cause a little bit of mischief. But if they genuinely wanted to know where Cardigan is, that shows you that they're not in this district. They're not with these people, because had they take a drive through these streets any time of day or night, they will find Cardigan with his people in his community. So, while I won't get into conversations, for example, between Shelia and Cardi, when they're discussing who represents the best district, and for the record, I would like to believe that I, myself, Kyle, and Jason are the ones who represent the best districts. Somebody, Mr. Chair, this is yours? 1 second. As I was saying, well, I personally am of the belief that me, Kyle, and Jason, we represent the better district. I would let Cardi and Shelia have that out. But with that being said, though, District 7, the West End community, is a community that is very near and dear to my heart, one that is quite special to me for personal reasons that I will get on to sharing. Over the years, one thing that I've learned in life is, one, each experience is there to teach you something and for you to grow. Another thing that I've learned is to never say never. Because the things that you often say you're gonna never do are usually the things that end up happening to you. I remember, for example, saying that, I don't know how my teachers would do it. I would never get involved in teaching. Just a couple years ago, I ended up adopting a third farm class and teaching a class of over 22 students for a year. And while that's only a glimpse into what teachers do, we got to take our hats off to them. But again, I said I would never do it, and I ended up there. I remember having a conversation some time ago with a very close cousin of mine while I was in university. And he said, cuz, one of these days, you're going to come back here and run in politics. You're going to be one of the people that run the country. I said, I know that's going to never happen because I can't see myself in politics. And, well, I don't think I need to say anything else. I've been here in 2020, and along with the support of you and the people throughout the island, I trust to be here for much longer with your vote and your support. But just like these two, the other thing that I always said that I would not get involved in was tourism. I know that coming out of high school, the students, we rush to go to the tourism sector often because those are the only jobs available. I tell myself, nah, I ain't getting involved in that. Went to university, come back. Where do I get my first job? Right up the road in Malihana. Through that experience, my first few years out of university, even though I didn't think I would get involved in tourism, I was very grateful for those years. In those times at Malihana, I actually spent more time in this district, in this village, and in this community than I did at home. Not only limited to the experiences at Malihana, but the other tourism offerings around the district. We know that Anguilla is a tourism-based economy, and we are currently in the tourism capital of the island. That's something I'm going to give to you, Cardi. So with that being said, the experience at the hotel within the industry not only grew me as a person, but it exposed me to the lifeblood of a lot of the people, not only in this district, of throughout Anguilla. It showed me that while people are willing to jump on flights and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars just to have a week or short vacation in Anguilla, where we are blessed to live, that it is our people who they make the difference for them. It is our people who walk in this industry, who give it their life and their soul, that have people coming back to Anguilla. So to you, the people of West End, to you, the people in the industry, to everyone who works hard to make Anguilla the destination that it is, I want to say thank you, because Anguilla is nothing without you, the people. While I would have learned a lot, I would have also been exposed to some of the challenges that our people within the lifeblood of our economy face. To think that persons are not working one, but two shifts, whether at the same hotel or across different properties, in order to make ends meet. To think that these people, while they are living in paradise, are not experiencing paradise the same way that our visitors who come to our shows do. And this is why going into the next election, it is going to be absolutely critical that you, the people, elect not only individual persons, but a party that believes in putting people first. And I could give a lot of examples as to how this government so far has not demonstrated that they are willing to put the people first. So take, for example, we know that going into the last election, the current administration overwhelmingly would have received support because they promised no GST. But as you heard before, next thing you know, today them saying GST is the best thing since sliced bread. I remember recalling the premier saying that the country is doing better because their administration had the heart to enact GST. My God, how you get a heart to lie to the people of Anguilla like that? At the end of the day, there are a few things that I want to point out. The Anguilla United Front, after looking at the impacts of GST over the past few years, would have put forward a GST relief plan. This plan wasn't even considered by the government. They shot it down. They called it disgusting. They put civil servants out there to do their bidding to say that it can't work. But now that we're seeing, just a couple weeks ago, we get called to the House of Assembly to take GST off of food. But how come when them say that our plan was trash, they didn't say, but oh, that's a good idea? What about the other things within our plan that we wanted to offer true relief to the people of Anguilla? Talking about removing GST off of retail sector. That's your hardware. That's for any young person, old person who wants to build a property to participate in our tourism product, or the young Anguillian who wants to have the Anguillian dream of just owning a piece of the rock. Can you afford to do so? For every $100,000 that you have to spend building your house, $11,500 of that money goes straight to the government coffers in GST tax. That means that could have gone to wire, to blocks, to concrete, or to paint. But no, the government needs their cut. By the end of the day, they're going to give it back to you at a $500 EC credit when Christmas time come around. If this government truly believed in putting people first, instead of fighting with Anglic over the years, they would have supported Anglic's plan for a shift to renewable energy. Because let me tell you, that plan, not only viable, that plan represented true relief for the people of Anguilla. But they're going to go on the government press conferences and tell you, Don't listen to people's opinion. We only listen to the experts. Despite CDB getting WSP, an independent company from the UK, to come in and examine Anglic's plan, where they prove that Anglic's plan is the best way forward. But what's this government's rationale as to why we should go with them and their PPA? Because they know better. Apparently, they only listen to the experts when it's convenient to them. Anglic came out and showed us their plan. What has this government came out and done? In fact, going back to GST, I shouldn't even be surprised that they're not willing to take on plans properly. Because when they campaigned no GST, it was evident that they had no plan in the first place. The premier went on radio with Keystone Greaves and assured the people of Anguilla that he spoke to Baroness Shuggs, the head of the FCDO at the time, who said that Anguilla did not have its hands tied. We did not have to implement GST as long as government could find a viable alternative to that plan. But they get elected and they say, you know what, Mr. Banks, tie our hands. Jeez. Going on further, when we look at the impacts of GST and the cost of living, another thing that struck me from the hotel sector is while the people who are coming to Anguilla to experience our tourism product are coming for our people, how many of our people are actually rising to the jobs of senior management, of general management, those top positions that actually represent the people of Anguilla? One thing that I often found is when you go to those hotels, it is the locals who have been there for decades, who can run circles, who understand the operation, who understand our culture, the people, and why our guests come to our shows, who have our properties being successful. But when it comes to who is being paid and how much money stays in the hands of the locals, compared to how much of it goes overseas or never even touches our local economy, what do we say then? The reason that that concerns me is because this government seems to have adopted that mind frame, that Anguillians aren't good enough to be able to be running these industries. And that's not me saying that it's this government's fault, while our persons in tourism are not in the top level jobs. It is because government ministers themselves have gone on record and said our utilities like Anglic cannot be managed by anybody locally. I guess that's why they fired the CEO without cause. The people of Anguilla are capable, we are qualified, and we have locals who are able to lead our industries and to build this nation into a brighter and better Anguilla. But this government seems to believe that Anguillians are not capable enough of doing so. Another area where they clearly did so and came out and said so was as it relates to .ai. And as Pat would have said earlier, I kind of disagree. While people might refer to me as .ai or Mr. AI, no, I do not know it all when it comes to AI. But because you, the people of Anguilla, would have invested in me as island scholar and sent me off to study, I was able to be exposed in computer science. I was able to study AIs, build AIs, and knowing the connection Anguilla has to the .ai domain, I could have come back and speak to the potential of .ai to Anguilla's economy. I remember 2019, 2020 standing up here and doing it. That's 5 years ago today. What has been done by this administration in the past 5 years to grow and develop AI and to make sure the people of Anguilla benefit? Not a thing. In fact, when I was talking about the potential of it last election, they call it pie in the sky. They said that where are we going to get the funds to do this? Oh, you're just fooling off the people of Anguilla. In 2016, .ai brought $751,000 to Anguilla over the course of the entire year. $751,000 in 1 year. In 2020, when we were having these discussions, just preceding the last general election, .ai was bringing in $14 million over the course of that year to the people of Anguilla. Last year around this time, it was bringing in over $3 million, and we see now in the 2025 budget, .ai is projected to bring in a total of $135 million to the people of Anguilla. And let me tell you, they under budget that, because I could tell you they're going to be much closer to $200 million. So, why do I say all of this? In 2020, when we were discussing .AI being only 14 million, we were saying that the government had to enact GST to fill a budgetary gap of $22 million. We needed $22 million was the whole reason why we needed GST. They say that the country was broken. The people were hurting. Okay, fast forward to now, where you went from 14 million to 140 million projected. That's 124 million than you were making back then. Take out the 22 million that you needed, that's still over $100 million more. And you telling me that you can't adjust the GST to bring some real relief to the people of Anguilla? No, man, you got to be being willful. No, you don't want to take it off the building materials. You don't want to take it off the restaurants. By the way, the restaurants are a double-edged sword, you know. Because not only are we putting off our visitors from coming here and spending the extra dollar that they might have to get that extra plate, that extra thing off the menu, they done seen by $28 tax on every dollar I spend. But it has further implications. What happens to the waiters and the waitresses who depend on tips, who no longer get tips anymore because the people can't afford to tip them after the meal? What does it mean for the local Anguillian family who can't go out there and enjoy our local restaurants because we simply can't afford to do so? We are being priced out of our own paradise. But, again, I have you, the people of Anguilla, to thank for my training and my exposure to AI. Which then leads me to beg the question, Jason spoke earlier to the importance of education. What has this administration been doing over the years to train the next person to be an expert in AI? It took me 4 years to get my degree. We just see that government handed over the management of .AI. They gave the golden goose to a foreign company to manage because they believe we, the locals, don't have the talent to do it. A statement that, let me tell you, pissed off a lot of young people who have specialists in cloud engineering, cybersecurity, web development, software development, our people who have gone throughout the world and trained and skilled themselves because they want to come back and contribute and help build the Anguilla of the future. They were told that they aren't good enough. But we trust that in 4 years, Identity Digital can just hand this back to us. Now, my people, let me just explain something. Yes, they are getting a cut of the profits. So yes, they will be incentivized to go out and market it because the more money they make from it, the more money we make from it. So they are incentivized to market it. What incentive do they have to hand that back over in 5 years? So if we wait until they come and tell us how to build our capacity, how to build our infrastructure, and if we wait until they come to put us in a position to be able to take it back from them, you better don't hold your breath. You're going to pass out. We need to make steps locally on a national level to ensure that we are putting our Anguillians in our own infrastructure in place to take back control of our .AI domain. And that means that 4 years ago was when we needed to send off the last students. And then 3 years after that, and we're talking about one student each year, there has been over $100 million in surplus from that AI domain, and that ain't even coming from GST. How much of that has been put into education? I know at the end of the day, some people say you can't eat concrete, but some people believe you can live on concrete. But concrete ain't gonna educate our students and put them in a position to be able to manage our nation going forward. We need to invest in the youth and the next generation if we want to get to the Anguilla of the future. They see some money coming in and they say, okay, let me go and hand this over to somebody else to see what we get back in return because Anguillians ain't good enough to manage it. Let me tell you, Anguilla today is only seeing the tip of the iceberg as it relates to the potential benefits we could be leveraging from .AI. And I'm not just talking about the .AI domain. It is much, much bigger than that. There are nations around this world, large nations, small nations of different economic power that are using technology to systematically transform their economies, to truly add a separate layer of their economy, separate to tourism, another pillar for us to stand, another opportunity for our future school graduates and children. Lord, when I look at that sweet young child running around, what is the future that we are building to ensure that they are able to effectively participate and not just relegated to the menial jobs at the bottom of the ladder? Those are the plans that we, the Anguilla United Front, are putting in place. These are the things that when we come together that we are discussing. These are the plans that once elected in 2025, we are planning on hitting the ground running with. But in order to do so, we need your vote and your support. In District 7, we need your vote for Mr. Cardigan Connor. But Cardi can't do it alone. Well, Cardi have your back. He don't have your back alone. He got me, Kyle, and Jason here with him, and another one to be announced soon. And we are asking for your support from each and every one of you here for the entire slate, because the Anguilla of the future needs proper leadership. Leadership that puts people first. And that is what you will get in the Team Anguilla United Front. As the general election heats up and we get closer to the campaign day, Lord, I hope the premier went to his lunch night in blue shoes. Because if them really think that them's doing so good, just call the date, man. Team AUF ready. At the end of the day, when those elections are called, it will be up to you, the people of Anguilla, to send a strong and clear message to this administration that while they have done some things and the country is developing in certain areas, it is not okay to develop the country without developing your people alongside it.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them.
So from Island Harbor to West End, at this point, I am begging you for your vote and your support for every district candidate that we have on Team AUF and the full slate of island-wide candidates. We say 4 plus 7, we want all 11, because this election is a critical election in Anguilla's history. And if we want to see the people truly be brought along in development and Anguilla move forward with plans and not politics, we need to vote for Team AUF. Thank you for coming out this evening.
Let's give it up and let's hear some hands for the Honorable Jose Vanterpool.
Get rid of them. For 14 years they boast and brag, but all them Kiwi was big in a bag. What they can do and how they are the best. Mash up we country now.
Sorry to the listening public, we're having some technical issues. But we will
Get rid of them. 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 Get rid of them.
we will
Not a sense some had in the name. Couldn't hold a job boy because of shame.
we will
All of us all
continue.
like they lose their blight.
We will continue with the meeting. We're having some technical issues, but just bear with us. Our next speaker tonight in District 7 is the young man that jumped overboard. No life vest, no floater, not even a straw. But he realized that the boat was heading to the rocks. But he did not do like D6 and say, Captain, sailor in. He jumped overboard and he rescued himself from that destructive boat. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the next speaker. The life boat was somewhere close because he reached shore and he's doing well. And he also saw that big bright beacon. Everybody here tonight who have on that yellow, I want you to sound your voice, blow your hands, and welcome none other than your island-wide candidate, the Honorable Kyle Hodge.
An old captain named Eric Williams. But yes, it's smooth and free. But sadly, Eric Williams passed away. The ship hit rough water that day. Someone turned the bridge over to
Good night, District 7. Make some noise. Let's hear it, District 7. Thank you for that warm welcome. Ring, ting, ting. District 7, good night. Tonight, we gather to speak about leadership, accountability, and the future of our beloved Anguilla. This election is about more than promises. It's about trust, integrity, and the uncompromising fact that you, the people of Anguilla, deserve to be treated better in your country. Just as a relationship between any couple cannot last if it's only about material things, so too, this government will not last if it's only about infrastructure development. It must be about social development, about developing the people of Anguilla first and foremost. I stand before you tonight as someone who has lived by this truth. When I say people over party, people over politics, and people over power, these aren't just words to me. These aren't just campaign slogans for me. These aren't just empty promises for me. These are principles that I have proven with action. When the APM chose to burden our people with GST, I chose to stand with you. When they put politics over the people's welfare, I walked away from my ministerial position. When they compromised their values, I stood firm in mine. Because that's what leadership means. It means standing firm for what's right, even when it costs you personally. We are here tonight in District 7 to support a man who shares these same principles. A man who, like me, doesn't just talk the talk, but he walks the walk. We are here to support Cardigan Connor, Cardi, a leader who truly understands what it means to put people first. Tonight, District 7, I want to speak about two kinds of leaders, two kinds of leadership. A premier performing wedding vows for an investor. What kind of leadership is that? That shows a leadership that has compromised its values and compromised its duty to the people of Anguilla. That is leadership that puts friendship first, puts hotel owners first, while the people of Anguilla comes in dead last. Look at what's happening right here in District 7, the breadbasket of our tourism industry. Its hard-working people have built homes, refurbished apartments to create opportunities for their families. But what do we see happening now? We have a government that has allowed the hotels to buy residential properties to house hundreds of their staff, undermining the very livelihood of local landlords. District 7, that is not leadership. That is compromised leadership. District 7, listen to the story of your own community. Homes that once earned premium rents are now undervalued, are worse, left empty. You are not better off, District 7, and you are certainly not growing sustainably together under the Anguilla progressive movement. How can we grow sustainably together when they have eroded an economic pillar that allowed the people of Anguilla to dominate in the rental market? District 7, it truly breaks my heart when I have to take your phone calls and I have to listen to your stories about bank mortgages being more than what you receive in rent. These aren't just numbers on a page. These are your lives, your homes, your futures that have been taken away from us. Again, I repeat, we are not growing sustainably together under the Anguilla progressive movement. But tonight, District 7, I am not here to talk about despair. I am not here to dwell on failure. I am here to talk about hope. You can make your voices heard the best way possible, and that is at the ballot box. The time has come to choose leadership that truly puts the people first. Tonight is about more than pointing out failures. You know what they are. You see them. You live them. We have all experienced their failure to govern Anguilla in a way that prioritizes you, the people of Anguilla. Tonight is about a different kind of leadership. Tonight is about a man who walks these streets with you. Tonight is about Cardigan Connor. Tonight is about reminding you that Cardi has stood in the gap for District 7, and he will continue to stand for you. And let me tell you something about Cardi. Whether Cardi is in government or on the opposite side of the house, Cardi is the same. His principles do not change. His consistency is one to admire. In a world of shifting loyalties and convenient promises, Cardi stands firm. He embodies the true essence of what you're elected to be, and that is to be a servant to the people. Cardi lives and breathes District 7. A young man recently told me, Cardi is a good man. He has never failed me. And I agree, because when you think about Cardi, two words echo through this community: trustworthy and committed. This is a man who stands his ground. Cardi doesn't make backdoor deals. He will not compromise your future for his gain. He stands for respect, integrity, and service. When you vote for Cardi, you're voting for someone who truly puts people first. But District 7, let me speak about the challenges we face. District 7, you are facing real challenges that demand real solutions. How can we, in the heart of Anguilla's tourism industry, be satisfied sometimes with only 2 hours of running water a day? 2 hours. Some days, there's no water running at all. Think about that. In 2025, in the heart of our tourism industry, families can't count on water to cook, to clean, and to live. This isn't rocket science. Let us as a people, let us consult with the experts, talk to our villagers, and engage the community to identify solutions. I was made to understand some years ago, at some point, we would have had a large tank in the South Hill area, somewhere below Walton Fleming. Seems to me that a substation with a large enough tank on the western side is not a far-fetched idea. If this administration can dream about multiple fish processing plants, surely they can solve something as basic, as fundamental as water. Because water isn't a luxury. It's fundamental to life itself. How can you cleanse, nourish, and prepare meals for your family with only sometimes 2 hours of water a day? Let that sink in. People of Anguilla, let me be clear about what we are up against. This administration has outsourced Anguilla. They have outsourced our jobs, piece by piece. They have outsourced our rental market, property by property. They have outsourced our services, contract by contract. They have even tried to outsource our hope for self-sufficiency. They have sidelined their own advisory team and made fun of it. They have tossed aside Kimberly because she did not win her seat. Look at how they treat their own people. We've already started to see how they treat you, the people of Anguilla. Imagine how much worse it will get if you reward this behavior with another term. Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. And APM has shown us time and time again that they stand for vindictiveness and division. We can do better than this, Anguilla. We must do better than this, District 7. This country needs healing. Anguilla deserves a government that truly has a heart for unity, healing, and progress for all and not just some. And that's why Cardigan Connor stands apart. He ran a clean campaign in 2020, and he's running a clean campaign now. While his opponent runs around spreading lies and sharing pathetic videos asking, where is Cardi? Well, tell them Cardi is right here in District 7 because this is where Cardi lives. Tell them Cardi is with the children at school because he believes in their future. Tell them Cardi is with the elderly because he honors their wisdom. Tell them that Cardi is with the community groups, serving with his hands and his heart. Tell them that Cardi is at church, grounded in faith and community. Tell them Cardi is sailing, connecting with the very soul of the island. Tell them Cardi is in District number 7. This is who Cardi is. A man of the people, by the people, and for the people. Cardi is District 7, and District 7 is Cardi. So tonight, District 7, I call on you to put Cardi back because he is a man that you can trust. A representative who actually lives in the district he serves. A leader you will see every single day. A leader who stands for unity when others divide. A leader who shows respect when others disregard you. A leader who believes in progress that lifts everyone up, not just a chosen few. District 7, vote for Cardigan Connor. He will not fail you. He has never failed you. And when you vote for Cardi, make your voice even stronger by voting for all the island-wide candidates. Together, we will build an Anguilla that works for everyone. Together, we will create an Anguilla that serves everyone. Together, we will restore an Anguilla that belongs to everyone. Vote for the Anguilla United Front from District 1 all the way to District 7. Vote for the district candidate and vote for all our island-wide candidates. Vote the Anguilla United Front. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Anguilla. Peace, love, and respect.
In years they boast and brag, but all them give we was big in a bag. What they can do and how they are the best. Mash up we country, now have we in a mess. So what we do? Get rid of them. Get rid of.
That is your mission, to get rid of them. Give it up again, one more time, for your island-wide candidate, the Honorable Hodge. If you've been taking stock of what's going on with this APM government, everything good is them. Everything wrong, Kyle is out of government, you hear him, Kyle did it, Kyle did it, Kyle did it. This is the type of people you have in office. But I'll tell you this, only a few months away, Anguilla, you will have the change that really, you was really looking for. Because that is one change that could have waited. Sorry, and I apologize to all of those people. Because I was one of them, saying change can't wait. But that change didn't work for us. That change didn't work for businesses in Anguilla. That change didn't work for Anguilla people. That change didn't work for the youths. That change didn't work for the boat racers. That change didn't work for the troops. That change was one change. Anguilla, that could have waited. Up next is somebody that I have a lot of respect for. And she's one of those Capricorns, because our body come back to back to back. And she's one of them. I call her the firepower, because she don't take anything. You fire punch, she fire punch. She don't lay down. And that's a woman I have respect for. And she makes her presence felt every time. District 7, welcome our next speaker, the Honorable Shelia Rogers Webster.
For 14 years they boast and brag, but all them give we was big in a bag. What they can do.
Good evening, friends, supporters, onlookers. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to stand before you here this evening. I have traveled all the way from Valley North for a special reason this evening. It is an honor to speak in support of a remarkable human being, a man who has consistently demonstrated his commitment to this community and to the betterment of his beloved district. Mr. Cardigan Connor, the representative for District number 7. In a world where political figures are often associated with divisiveness and self-interest, Mr. Cardigan Connor is always and has always been a breath of fresh air. He is the embodiment of what it means to be a team player. Someone who not only understands the importance of working together, but also actively supports and encourages every member of his team to excel, because that is who Mr. Connor is. Over the years, Mr. Connor has shown through his actions, not just words, that his heart and mind are focused on the people of District number 7 and the greater good of Anguilla. Whether Mr. Connor has served as parliamentary secretary or he has served in the opposition, he has demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the people of District 7 every single time. As a matter of fact, when I served under Mr. Connor at the Anguilla Tourist Board, every opportunity that presented itself, we would always laugh, because Mr. Connor would find some way to lobby for the people of District 7. And we would always laugh and say, here comes Mr. Connor, finding some way to contribute in some way to District 7. And it was a genuine interest that Mr. Connor had for his constituency, a genuine love for the people, for their betterment. That isn't something that comes overnight. That isn't something that you can fake. That is something that is genuine, and that is something that lives in Mr. Connor. For the past 2 terms, Mr. Connor has served this district with nothing but distinction every single time. And he is completely deserving of another term. Over the years, he has shown through his actions, again, not just his words, that he believes in the people of this district. He has been committed to education, to sports development, and to tourism. And he has done nothing but been short of phenomenal and amazing. He understands that these areas are the foundation on which you build a future. Mr. Connor has worked tirelessly to ensure that we invest in our youth. that our athletes are supported and they are given an opportunity to thrive, and that the tourism industry continues to grow and offer opportunities for all. And again, not just in word, but in deed. He has proven that these priorities are not just political talking points. They are his passion and they are a promise. It is in these core areas where we can see the kind of leadership that Mr. Connor brings to the table. His advocacy for education has resulted in improved resources for this very school, Alwyn Allison Primary School, for the betterment of opportunities for these very students and a vision for a brighter future. In sports, he has championed the athletes, ensuring that their infrastructure and they are encouraged to reach their full potential. When he served in tourism, and I served under Mr. Connor's stewardship, we've seen the efforts that he has taken to elevate our island to a premier destination, winning the #1 island in the Caribbean for 3 consecutive years in a row by Travel and Leisure. 3 consecutive years in a row. That speaks volumes. Since this administration has taken office, we have not won the top island, not even once under their leadership. That speaks volumes. When the island was celebrating its 50th anniversary, recognizing the importance of our national sport, Mr. Connor lobbied and celebrated for a $50,000 grand prize for boat racing because he understood and believed in the value of the national sport to our heritage. To this day, he still continues to lobby for the national sport. He lobbies to this administration. He lobbies to the Department of Youth and Culture. He lobbies in the House of Assembly for boat racing because Mr. Connor understands the importance of our national sport. Now, let me switch gears for a moment. While I respect every individual's democratic right to serve for office, I would like to take a moment to share a few words about the candidate who currently challenges Mr. Connor in this upcoming race, Mr. Jamie Hodge. I recognize Mr. Hodge's right to participate in this election, and I wish him the best of luck. However, I would like to caution you all as he campaigns against the Anguilla United Front. This very party that Mr. Connor proudly represented for so long. You see, the story of Mr. Hodge's political journey is one that speaks volumes of his true intention. Following the last election in 2020, it was made clear that Mr. Hodge had a desire to join the Anguilla United Front team. Being the open and united and positive and embracing team that the Anguilla United Front is, we welcomed Mr. Hodge with open arms as a member of the Anguilla United Front. He pledged his full support for Mr. Cardigan Connor and our team. So much so that Mr. Hodge applied for membership of our party. This is not hearsay. There is a written document, a written application for membership of Mr. Jamie Hodge to the Anguilla United Front Party. People of Anguilla, if that does not demonstrate the strength of the Anguilla United Front, if that does not demonstrate his belief in this organization, then I don't know what does. So I caution you this election season. caution you this election season. When you hear Mr. Hodge speaking, kindly remind Mr. Hodge that he applied to join the Anguilla United Front Party because he recognized that it was the best party for Anguilla. However, despite that recognition of the strength and the unity of the Anguilla United Front Party, we now see that Mr. Hodge has joined the APM administration as a candidate. But he only did that because he was not selected as an island-wide candidate to run at large. So he has chosen second best. But to the people of Anguilla, you have a choice. You do not have to settle for second best. Because the Anguilla United Front represents the best party to take Anguilla forward. Imagine now you have to campaign against a party that currently you are still a member of, because Mr. Hodge has never submitted a resignation from this party as a member, has never. So the Anguilla, the APM team has a candidate who is a member of the Anguilla United Front. But not just the APM, you know, because R does too. Because Mr. Romel Hughes also applied to be a member of the Anguilla United Front. So when you hear them about a place talking about the Anguilla United Front, ask them a question. Ask them why they applied to join that same organization. But in contrast, because you see, in this next election cycle, we have to be very discerning about the people we elect to public office, because we made some dangerous mistakes in 2020. But we're not doing that again, Anguilla. We're not doing that again. In contrast to Mr. Hodge, Mr. Connor has always been clear and consistent about his commitment to the people and to the Anguilla United Front. He has never wavered in his dedication to the mission of the AUF and his loyalty to the people of District 7. It has always been about the people of District 7. His focus has always been on the collective good, not personal gain. So when you hear Mr. Hodge speaking about Mr. Connor not being fit for leadership, ask him why he was supporting Mr. Connor not even a year plus ago. Why was he supporting Mr. Connor's team? Because he within himself recognized Mr. Connor's value. He recognized the value of the team that Mr. Connor serves with. So, my dear people of District 7, my dear people of Anguilla, do not be fooled. Recognize the value of the team that stands before you. Recognize the value of Mr. Cardigan Connor and the opportunity to not just support Mr. Connor, but to support all four of the Anguilla United Front's at-large candidates. Jason Bryan, Kyle Hodge, Joseph Vanterpool, and the other candidates to be named, because I guarantee you that they are people with a vision, people with a heart, people who understand the importance of loyalty to the people. Loyalty to the people. People first. So when you head to the polls, remember that Mr. Connor's vision for our future is rooted in education, sports, and tourism, and above all, rooted in unity. His leadership has already had a lasting impact on this country. And it will only continue to have further impact because I believe in the people of District 7. I believe that the people of District 7 understand the value of having a good representative, and they will not let Mr. Cardigan Connor go. Because they see Mr. Connor's value. We see Mr. Connor's value. Mr. Connor proudly serves as the deputy leader of the Anguilla United Front. I ask you one question. Who is the deputy leader of the current administration? To date, not one has been named. You know why? Because they can't get together among themselves and vote for a deputy leader. Imagine that. The Anguilla United Front doesn't have that problem. We have a leader and a deputy leader who is respected, loved, and valued. So when you hear the people from the APM talking about leadership issues, ask them who's their deputy leader. Ask them to elect a deputy leader. Because we don't have those issues on the Anguilla United Front slate. Before I leave you tonight, I want to speak to you on another issue. Victimization. I want to leave you with this. This party and the party that it was previously associated with has a history of victimization. A history of dismissing and making people redundant who they believe are not aligned with their political interests. And each and every time they do it, the people of Anguilla, the statutory bodies, Anglet have to pay out millions of dollars to people who have been victimized. Whether it's been Heather, whether it's been Tommy, whether it's been Briggy, the list goes on and on and on. And you can add Mr. Sutcliffe Hodge to the list as well. This isn't something new. This is what they do. As long as you are not aligned with their agenda, as long as you don't support them, they have no value for you. Whether or not you perform well, whether or not you are qualified, it does not matter. If they believe that you don't support them, you are gone. That is not the type of leadership that is deserving of serving in this great country. And you have an opportunity to change this current administration. And do not take it lightly. So when they come with their big talk, when they come with all the things that they can do, and when they spend their millions of dollars campaigning around this country, the monies that they receive from investors and under the table, say to them, no matter how much money you get from investors, you cannot buy my vote. My vote is not for sale. Because for the past 5 years, you have not walked in the interest of the people of Anguilla. You have done the bidding for so many other people ahead of your people. You have an administration who has demonstrated indeed that they care for the people of Anguilla. When investors were trying to build their own apartments so that their people can live in, and local Anguillians would lose apartment rentals, the Anguilla United Front stood up for Anguillians and went to court with one of those investors and said no. Our people have apartments. Our people have great homes that deserve to be rented. Our people deserve to have money in their pockets. But as soon as the Anguilla United Front left office, and the APM government came in, the investors were given the opportunity to do exactly that. These are not made up stories. These are not lies. These are the facts. These are the facts. We must pay attention and ask yourself, are these people really interested in putting Anguillians first? How are you interested in putting Anguillians first when you appoint non-Anguillians to so many key areas across this country? The director of tourism position to a non-Anguillian. The health services commissioner position to a non-Anguillian. The CMO position at the tourist board to a non-Anguillian. And the list goes on and on and on. But don't forget, in a press conference, the Honorable Quincy Gums-Marie said that Anguillians were not fit to serve in these institutions. She didn't hide to say it. The tape is there. You heard it for yourself. And if by chance you didn't hear it, reach out to a member of the Anguilla United Front team and we'll gladly present you with the evidence. Because you see, gone are the times when things would be said and it wasn't recorded. Everything is recorded now. So when they tell you that Anguillians are not good enough to run our institutions, believe them when they say it. When they appoint non-Anguillians over qualified Anguillians, we're not looking for handouts. We went across the wall and qualified ourselves to serve. When they choose persons over you after working so hard, believe them. When they bring in foreign companies and give them contracts, believe them. When they circumvent the procurement process and award contracts, believe them. When they get funding from investors, openly, publicly, believe them. Because they're not hiding anymore. They're out in public showing you exactly who they are. This is a very critical period in time. And people of District 7, you have a unique opportunity to re-elect Mr. Cardigan Connor as well as the slate of island-wide candidates. You have an opportunity to have not just one, but 2 representatives from the West End area. When last have you had 2 representatives from the West End area? Mr. Cardigan Connor and Mr. Jason Bryan, you have an opportunity, District 7. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. You have 2 strong individuals who can deliver for you at every given opportunity. So I ask you to support us. I beg you humbly that you give us an opportunity to continue to serve. And before I leave you, very, very recently on one of Hammer's radio programs, Mr. Linting found himself on the radio. He had lots to say, but during that radio program, he specifically said, when Hammer asked him about Shelia Rogers Webster, he said he wouldn't even let her wash his car. But I have a message for Linting. The people of Valinor didn't elect me to wash cars. But I will tell you, when given the opportunity, as Mrs. Bradley has said before, I might not wash cars, but I can deliver a washout when necessary. So Linting, have no fear, because Shelia Rogers Webster is ready to deliver and wash. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening and thank you.
One how they are the best. Mash up we country, now have we in a mess. So what we do? Get rid of them. 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 Not a sense some had in the name.
One more time. I want you to give it up. Give it up for you, Honorable. No LinkedIn. You don't waste that time. Shelia Rogers Webster. I told you, I give you a warning, and you didn't take heed. Anguillians, I want you to listen to her message. Her message was delivered loud and clear. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted by foolish videos that is sent around here. And Trump is actually the person delivering the message, because that does not speak well of who they are. But I'll tell you the next thing, because this is something I like. One thing this government had mastered, and if you were voting for liars, you can go right ahead and vote for that party. They lie about every single thing. It's the same government that said Anglec didn't have any money. I'll touch a bit on that. But they was doing RFP for $10.7 million. I wonder where that money was coming from. Right in Anglec, same company that the premier say was Brooks. But during the carnival, they gave $75,000 US to the carnival committee. I won't call the name who they give it to. But where the money gone? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But we're not going to touch on that tonight. Tonight, District 7, God is the man. In everything that goes on in District 7, God is always in the midst. If you go up there by the well, God is there. You go over on Meads Bay, God is there. You drive down by Jenny, God is there. You go up by Cherry, God is there. You go by the Chinese, God is there. You go next door, right by the bar. And I like that, because you got some people in this APM government cannot come down to this level. They're too high. They're too busy eating big steaks and drinking red wine. They cannot come down to the people. So we ain't coming up to you. You're going to come down to our level at the next election, because we're going to elect a whole new team, our caring team, none other than the AUF. Say what you wanted about AUF. This is your poison. We will get rid of all 11, the PRO 12, LinkedIn 13, Romel 14, Curtis 15. I respect Mary. She's my elder, so I wouldn't say anything about her. But all 16 candidates will go home. And remember that I told you this. In a couple of months, Anguilla will have the relief they're looking for. I remember the premier on the press conference, APM press conference, when the AUF released their GST relief plan. The man looked right into the mic and said, laughable, disgusting, and nothing to behold. Just before elections, on the verge of elections, we're going to remove the GST on food. Okay. Thank you, Premier. Remove it off of building materials. And tell us thanks. Tell us thanks. Remove it off of the wholesalers. Tell us thanks. Remove it off of the retailers and tell us thanks. You had no plan, and we give you a plan. But we're going to give you some more ideas too, Premier. So in a matter of weeks, you'll know AUF plan, and you'll be able to execute it again. But just have the kind heart to just say thank you. We'll roll. We'll keep the ball rolling. You know, like all the AUF candidates to come backstage. Well, come to the back of me. We are going to bring you Anguilla's force in a couple of months. He said June, but I don't believe he's going to dry down to June. In the next couple of months, Anguilla will make history. We'll have our first female premier. But I'll say this. This is a lady with a broad back. So I'm not afraid. I know she can represent herself. She's a Capricorn. Unlike Shelia, she's very measured. And you know that. But you know Shelia can put the pressure on. But Madam Leader, don't jump on anything. Anything she's going to do, she's going to be well measured. She's going to research it. She's a lawyer. Not a doctor, a lawyer. Who better to represent you? Because if that's the way the hospital is treated by a doctor, my God, my God, my God. So, we'll get the ball rolling. Madam Leader, you ready? What a lovely lady. Toot your hand, clap your hands, and welcome the AUF leader, none other than Honorable Cora Richardson.
So amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is a woman. The gift of life astounds me to this day. I give it up for the woman. She's the constant wind that fills my sail. Oh, that woman. With a smile and a star, she'll protect you like a child. That's a woman. She'll put a smile upon her face and take you to the higher place.
Western, good night. Anguilla, good night, good night. Buenas noches a todos los que están aquí y a los que están viendo de esta casa. What a washout tonight, what a washout. Let's give Shelia another round of applause for that wonderful presentation. I am so excited to be here tonight to support our Anguilla United Front District 7 candidate, the Honorable CARDIGAN. Fellow Anguillians, there are so many negative forces at play in our country right now. And as we maneuver through these difficult times, we need leadership we can trust. We need a team of people who will work hard for the people of Anguilla. We need a team of people who cares about putting people first. We need Team Anguilla United Front. And each member of our team, from west to east, each member is experienced, qualified, capable, and able to take on any duty given to them once elected and as a minister in government. The Anguilla United Front is ready to lead, and we will work hard to ensure that there is true transparency, honesty, and integrity in our leadership. And you can see that we are not waiting to be elected to start working for you. We have been working for the last 5 years, speaking with our people, listening to their concerns, finding ways to ease their pain when and where we could, providing support to our constituencies, the people in our constituencies. We have been with you all along, all along. And that is why we understood the pain the GST was causing and brought forward the Anguilla United Front GST Relief Plan. And we asked this APM administration to accept and adopt our relief plan. The Premier said the plan was disgusting. He said it couldn't work. But lo and behold, just last month, the same APM administration implemented a portion of our Anguilla United Front GST relief plan by removing food from GST. But it is still not enough to ease the suffering of our people. And we have formulated our policies in relation to matters that are important: health, education, gun crime and violence, sports, our local business sector, the orange economy, youth entrepreneurship, and the like. And you will hear more about these policies as we near the date for elections. The Anguilla United Front team is a stable, respectful, capable, and qualified team. We are ready to lead. And these last 5 years have been a failed experiment filled with instability, corruption, selfishness, greed, threats, and lies. And we can never go back. We can never go back to the APM. My people, as we speak here tonight, the APM is at their official party lunch, which includes high-tech screens and equipment, overseas entertainment, and an all-out display of money. And while they are showcasing their access to campaign financing, their access to campaign money, the people suffer. The APM skyrocketed the cost of living in Anguilla by increasing taxes and fees. And then on top of it, they implemented the GST against the wishes of the people. And today, these harmful APM policy decisions continue to affect us. Our people are finding it difficult to make ends meet, and the cost of food has still not decreased such that people can see and feel it. The cost of electricity is still through the roof and has been made worse by the GST being added to our ANGLEC bills. And all the government is talking about is a PPA, a PPA, a PPA. But nobody except them knows what is this PPA. Just yesterday, the carnival troops and the junior calypsonians cried out that they still have not been paid since last year. And yet this government thinks it's okay to showcase themselves with their political launch and their campaign financing. And my people, expect more expensive APM meetings will come. They have the money to spend, and they are not afraid to throw money at you in order to try to win the next election. But you must ask yourself, where is the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? It is not from their ministerial salaries, and I can tell you, because I was a minister of government, those campaign financing, the campaign monies are not coming from their ministerial salaries. Our hotel workers have been openly talking about our ministers enjoying free meals and steak and potatoes at hotel properties. The Anguilla people have been begging for openness and transparency in relation to the Lansam Bowl Cultural Center, the Blowing Point basketball facility, and the proposed basketball facility in Island Harbor. And our people have been begging for transparency in relation to the outsourcing of our domain name management, the management of our domain name, which is being outsourced by this APM administration. And I am telling you tonight that when the APM come to you offering money, take it. Take it, because they're not gifting you anything. The money that they're giving you to vote for them is simply money that they've been taking from you for the last 5 years. It is your money. It is your money. So you take the money, you smile, you tell them thank you, and you vote them backsides out of office. Take the sweeteners. Take the sweeteners. Take the senior shield. And that is the senior shield is the one critical program that this administration has implemented. There are issues. It has to be addressed. There are a number of issues that need to be addressed with senior shield. And the Anguilla United Front team supports senior shield. They are giving vouchers for our senior citizens. Take it. They're giving electricity credits. Take it. Whatever this administration is giving to you, you take it. You don't turn it down because it's your money for the last 5 years. And you vote them out and you send them back home. You send Lorenzo back home. And the events of this past week alone shows that the Anguilla progressive movement are liars. They are incompetent and they cannot be trusted. Earlier this week, the government held a press conference taking credit for work permit waiver policy for great-grandchildren. But what they did not tell you is that in 2019, under my leadership as Minister for Constitutional Affairs, we amended the 1982 Anguilla Constitution, and for the first time recognized all children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren as being Anguillians. And once that amendment took place, as Minister of Labor, I granted work permit waivers for all grandchildren. And this continued until 2020, when this APM government came into office. And once they took over, they stopped granting the work permit waivers. They stopped granting the work permit waivers and instead forced our great-grandchildren to apply for work permit. Now, listen to me carefully. Did you know that the Minister of Labor always has the power to grant a work permit waiver? It is in his discretion. And so he should have been granting the work permit waivers from the very beginning for great-grandchildren. But instead, what did they do? They created the problem by not granting work permit waivers on the heels of elections. Today, they now pass a policy and take credit for the confusion that they created. Cuando era ministro de Trabajo, concedí todas las exenciones de permisos de trabajo para bisnietos. Cuando la APM asumió el cargo, dejó de otorgar exenciones de permisos de trabajo a bisnietos. ¿Sabías que el ministro de Trabajo siempre tuvo la autoridad para otorgar exenciones de permisos de trabajo? Muchas gracias. But this is typical APM style, to make the lives of Anguillians hard and then act as if they are giving people something. They increased the petroleum levy by 700% in 2021 and then come back three years later, just last month, and remove it and reduce it back down. They imposed GST on all food and then come back just last month and take it off of food. And the people not the AUF, the people of Anguilla have been asking this government from 2022 to reduce the harsh effects of GST on the people of Anguilla. The people asked, and they were ignored. And so do you know why in December of 2024 they removed food from GST from food? Because of elections. Elections months away. And so they think that by doing all this trickery months before a general election that the people are going to say, oh God, thank you APM for making our lives better. No, you made our lives worse. You made us worse off than we were before. And so everything that you're doing now is you're undoing the harsh effects, the things that you put in place, your bad policies, you're only now undoing them. And so we're not going to thank you for that. You don't get a cookie for that. Fellow Anguillians, I was moved to speak out earlier this week and stand in solidarity with the teachers, students, and staff at Campus Q, Albino Lake Hodge Comprehensive School, in relation to a situation that took place at school. And I felt this issue on two levels. As a mother with a school child, and as a former Minister of Education. And what galled and upset me was the total absence of the presence of the minister during this past week. The minister was absent. When I asked the teachers, when you had your sit-in, did the minister show up? They said no. She met with them the day after, but there was no message to the country, no message to the people of Anguilla, no message to the teachers, to the staff, to the children, to put them at ease and to tell them, to tell us, what is this government going to do to address and arrest the situation that we see happening in our country and in particular our schools. She was absent. And our teachers felt the need to have a sit-in to express their displeasure and their concern. And I stand, all of the members of the Anguilla United Front stand in solidarity with our teachers on this issue. And you see what happened is that our school is being ignored and is being mistreated and completely disregarded. And we know why. Because the Honorable Hayden Hughes said openly, publicly, that if the 60 million pounds was given to him, he would have put all of it into the airport. So our children would have been left undone because he thought that the airport is more valuable than our children. And so it is no surprise that for almost 2 years, Campus Q sat abandoned without any work or much work being done on it until the teachers stood up and they threatened to strike unless the school was finished. And that is how the children and the teachers end up in Campus Q today, because they put their foot down, they put their feet down, and they decided that they were not going to take it anymore. And I want to tell our teachers, our staff members, our students, and our parents that the winds of change of education is coming. The winds of change are coming. Not just in education, in health, where we see under this administration, one would have thought that a doctor would have been able to progress health much further than where it is today. But instead, we see that health has declined. And so I want to tell our health professionals tonight, the winds of change in health are coming. The winds of change are coming. And I want to bring another serious matter to your attention. That is the 2025 budget of some $546 million. It is the largest budget in Anguilla's history, $546 million. And it is $165 million more than last year's budget. And we know what the government is saying. They're saying they're building the airport from the taxpayer dollars. They plan to build government buildings this year from the taxpayer dollars. The roads and all the infrastructural projects that they're doing from the taxpayers' dollars, from your dollars, from the money that you are paying in relation to the high taxes in this country. And when the Premier said just a couple of months ago that the GST is no longer overperforming and that is not bringing enough to cover a government expenditure, pay attention. He said GST is no longer overperforming. But we know that in 2023, GST was supposed to have brought in $90 million. Instead, it brought in $155 million, $65 million more than was anticipated. And that was in 2023. So how in 2024, 2025, the GST is no longer overperforming? What are they doing? What are they doing with the taxpayers' dollars? So I want you to listen carefully to me. And listen carefully to what the APM government is telling you. Because as Kyle said, when people show you who they are, believe them. And what this government is going to do is they're going to call a quick election. Because shortly after, they will have to increase taxes to be able to cover this big boy and big girl budget that they've created. They have to. Because if they're telling you that the GST is no longer overperforming, that is not sufficient to bring in the revenue covered, to cover the expenditure, it means that they have to increase taxes. And when you look at how they have garnered this revenue, it hasn't been by investments. It's not that they're building the airport from the .ai domain name monies. It is the tax dollars that are being used to fund these projects. So when they tell you that it's not overperforming, that the GST is not enough to cover expenditure, pay attention and pick sense from nonsense and understand that as soon as they get in, they have to increase taxes on the people of Anguilla. So the GST that they remove from food, expect for it to come back. Expect for GST to increase from 13% to whatever figure they figure is enough to be able to cover their big boy and big girl budget. Pay attention. Take heed, fellow Anguillians. And the difficulty is that we are in this situation where GST is no longer overperforming as a result of the bad policy decisions being made by this APM government. They have got to go. They have got to go. So fellow Anguillians, do not be blinded by the flashy, shiny objects that they're showing you. Don't be blinded. Don't be fooled. Re-elected, this APM government will plunge the country into so much financial difficulties and confusion that we will not be able to see our way. And so irresponsible policy decisions have led us to this inflated $546 million policy decisions will put us into difficulties if this APM is re-elected. My people, what I've spoken about tonight is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to say, and you will continue to hear from us over the following weeks and months. This government has proven time and time again that they cannot be trusted. They have no vision, no solutions, no intention of putting the people of Anguilla first. Instead, they rely on lies, manipulation, and the immunity of the House of Assembly to protect themselves from accountability. My people, leadership is about integrity, honesty, and a genuine commitment to the people. It's about looking out for your people and serving with transparency and accountability. This APM government has failed on all counts. Failed on all counts. And we, the members of the Anguilla United Front, will not allow this APM government's betrayal to go unchallenged. We will fight for a government that keeps its word, respects its people, and prioritizes the prosperity of Anguilla over personal gain. It is time for leadership that leads and not one that deceives. It is time for leadership that leads and not one that deceives. And that is why tonight I stand proudly in support of your District 7 representative, the Honorable CARDIGAN Connor. You know him. You know him. He's been here with you. And when they ask, where is Cardi? You, the people of District 7, can answer, he's right here sitting and talking with me. He is here for the Alwyn Allison Primary School students, teachers, and staff. He is here for his church. He is here for the young athletes in District 7 and, in fact, from all across Anguilla. He is here for the young people as well as for the elderly in his community. He is here for boat racing. He is here helping to keep West End clean and preen. So when they ask you, where is Cardi? You say, he is right here with me. When they ask you, where is Cardi? You say, he is right here with me. And CARDIGAN not only understands his role as a district representative, but he is the perfect example of what it means to be a team player and to support the individuals in the team as well as the team as a whole. That's right. You see, what some other politicians do not understand is that there is no I in team. One I cannot run the government. One I cannot fill all 5 ministerial roles. One I cannot lead a team to victory. And you have seen time and time again, and especially with the members of this APM government, that when a party is consumed with so many I's, it only leads to destruction and failure. And so, as party leader, I am truly grateful for the Honorable CARDIGAN Connor and the role he plays as deputy party leader. Fellow Anguillians, Anguilla deserves so much more than what this APM government has done to the people of Anguilla over these past years. Anguillians deserve leaders who are trustful, trustworthy, and dedicated to serving our island with honor. And so in the next elections, I ask for your vote for CARDIGAN Connor in West End. I ask for your vote for our 4 island-wide candidates, which include the Honorable Joseph Vanterpool, the Honorable Kyle Hodge, and Mr. Jason Bryan. District 7 constituents, I want to leave you with this message. If you are on the voters list, you are entitled to vote. I will repeat. If you are on the voters list, you are entitled to vote. Do not allow anyone to tell you that you cannot vote. You are entitled to vote once you are on the list. And so do not let the APM intimidate you into not voting. Fellow Anguillians, vote for a party who puts people first. Vote for the Anguilla United Front. Vote right. Vote 5 lights. Thank you and good night. Muchas gracias y buenas noches. God bless you and God bless Anguilla.
Woke up this morning, got up with a scent of a woman.
District 7, Anguilla, on a whole. Let's give it up for Anguilla's next premier. And we will make history. And the Anguilla United Front will be returned to office. So, do the right thing. You don't need to go nowhere. The last time we were running around trying to grab on Kyle, but Kyle is here this time. And along with Kyle, you have Jason Bryan. And you listen to him. A very passionate young man. District 4, we don't need to say no more. We ain't gonna vote. I'm gonna leave the party today because of GST and return a couple days later and say she gotta continue. The same person that voted against GST is now singing GST praise. So we don't have no flip-flop in District 4. You have one vote, and it's vibes alone. District 3, you get it right all the time. District 7, you get it right, and I know you'll get it right again. District 1, and Claude, I think he can lift. He might be able to lift the premier. Take him to the airport and send him back home. All the way to, you know where, Florida. Because he went back home a couple months ago, and he will be back home pretty soon. No, I won't go there with the airport. Because you know what the airport will be named shortly if we allow them to continue on this journey. It will be named the Hayden Hughes International Airport. And Aristo will be able to get it right. But we're not going to go there tonight. You know, I forgive Aristo. I forgive Romel too, because he asked me to step aside. He said, APM have 2 candidates running in District 6. But I'll tell you tonight, the only 2 candidates in District 6 belongs to the APM is the green and the yellow. The green and the blue, sorry. Those are the 2 APM candidates that's running in District 6. But tonight is about District 7. But I'll give you a little history before I bring on Dr. McDonough. Jamie is my very good friend. Very good friend. And I like him. I do business with him. You know, I'm a broker. Everybody knows I do brokerage. But something is disturbing about Jamie. And it's nothing bad. Last election, Jamie told me, and I could call it because he know better. He will never run in a party with Hayden Hughes. And today, Jamie is on the APM platform, and Hayden is right in the back cheering on. Go, Jamie, go, Jamie, go. What a set of fellas. It is unbelievable. But Jamie, if you had waited your turn, because you're going to wait the next 5 years, and that was easy. You could have sit it out. Card is soon going to retire. He's going to come by me and visit me every day and say, Pat, how things going? You could have been there. You could have been right there behind Cardi. But if you like power so bad, we're going to deprive you of it one more time. Because you did run the last election. We love you that much. We leave you home this time. District 7 got it right before, and they will get it right again. They have a man that they can depend on. They have a man who's always with the people. Not come around, sometimes, never. No, Jamie, not this time. I love you like a brother, but we're going to give you a 5 years vacation, and maybe we'll brush you up 2030. So don't worry too much. You'll know how blows feel. You can ask Courtney. District 7, people of Anguilla. Our next speaker. While I'm here, before I go on to the next, I want to say good night to Leon Lake. I won't kill and bury you, though. That will never happen. Our next speaker is none other than Dr. McDonough. Dr. McDonough is our next speaker.
Good night, Anguilla. Good night, District 7. It is an honor for me to be here again after 5 years. Tonight, I stand again to endorse my good friend, CARDIGAN as the representative continuing in this district. In 2015 and 2020, I stood here to present him. I found in Cardi a man for the people, a kind person, a man who I believe is very serious and stable-minded person, a man who I believe has a heart of the people of Anguilla. Cardi have set a good record over the past 10 years. And that's why I am here again. You know, the last general election, I told myself that I will not get involved. I will not get back here. I'm going to sit it out, do my part. But tonight, I'm here. I think there's one movie star said, never say never. But over the past years and over the past months, my heart have grown very heavy for this nation. My prayers over the past months and years has become tears as I weep over this country I love so dear. I've seen the hardship up front. My position that I hold in Anguilla, I see the hardship. I hear the cries. I see the pain that Anguillians are going through. And I say to myself, I just can't sit back. Mac, you just cannot sit back as you've decided to. I have a voice, I have a position, and I have a civic right to this country.
Thank you. God bless you.
And tonight, I am honored to stand beside Cardi once again. I'm honored to hold his hand and to give him my counsel, my rebukes when necessary, to give him my prayers, and to give him my continual support as a member and a resident of District 7. I believe that Anguilla is at a crossroad, and there's something I call the urgency of now. It is a critical time in our country's history. And I believe it's a time to awake to action and to save this nation. And tonight, I want to introduce to you again Mr. CARDIGAN. Cardi is not a stranger. He is not a stranger to this district. You'll find him by the roadside picking garbage. You'll find him by the roadside cutting trees. You'll find him carrying water here and there over the past 10 years. District 7, I've asked you in 2015, I asked you in 2020, and now I'm asking you again in 2025. Stand with me. Stand with me beside Mr. Cardigan Connor. People of District 7, let me say it again. Cardi is the man. Let us re-elect Mr. Cardigan Connor in this upcoming general election. Please, tonight, help me welcome my friend, Mr. Cardigan Connor. God bless you. God bless Anguilla.
Get rid of them. 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 For 14 years they boast and brag, but all they give we was big in a bag. What they can do and how they are the best. Mash up we country, now have we in a mess. So what we do? Get rid of them. 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 Not a sense some had in the name. Couldn't hold a job boy because of shame. All of a sudden like.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You know, the thing is they say when you die and people are giving a eulogy, you don't hear it. But I think tonight, I felt as if I was in heaven. I'm not dead, but when I listen to my colleagues, what they say about me, in all the years, it's actually touched me more than ever. Actually, it rivals 10 years ago when my godfather, the late Albert Belter Hughes, came to this podium here and introduced me as the candidate for the Anguilla United Front in the upcoming general election. This is back in 2015. Tonight, I want to say to all Anguillians, I thank you all for being here. Thank all the members of District 7 for being here. But I know that in St. Martin, that in St. Lucia, in Grenada, in St. Vincent, St. Thomas, United States, in England, a beautiful lady, my mom, I know she'll be watching, my sisters and my brother in England. To me, I am indeed honored. I'm indeed honored. What I will say is that the last couple of days has been trying for me. Yesterday, I got a phone call at 6 o'clock in the morning. It came from a local number, a number from the area. I thought it was for a youngster who wanted me to take him to the sailing school, him and his younger brother. But the news was that they'd lost their father. And I cried like a child. I cried like a child, and no disrespect to the deceased. But I was crying because these 4 young boys, oldest of 15, youngest of 3, is left without a father at a time when Anguilla is not in the best position it should be, where we've got so many concerns about what's happening in our schools. There's so many concerns. I've written a speech, but I'm not sure I'm going to read it. There's so many concerns about the safety of our youngsters in school, when it should be about their education. It's about their safety. A mother called me, another mother from this area called me a couple of days ago. Again, she was crying. She was crying because she said a 12-year-old who's due to go to high school or campus B in September is afraid to go to school. Why is that? We've got a problem in Anguilla. We've got a problem here, and we're the ones to fix it. We are the ones to fix it. That is just one of many challenges. I don't like using the word problems. I prefer challenges. Bryan, who lived across the way and wrote a song, we're about to build a new Anguilla. Where is that new Anguilla? Our honorable leader of opposition, and hopefully the next, people talk about the first female premier. She's got all the qualities to be a premier, whether male or female. She just happens to be a woman. So I'd rather people say our next premier and not about a female premier. When you talk of building a new Anguilla or building anything, it's better to build from within. And what does within means in Anguilla about Anguillians? I grew up in a home where I was the oldest male in the home. I've got an aunt who's probably listening tonight, although she should be asleep. She was the first mother I knew. Dorothy Connor, they call her daughter. She was my mother. She was my father. My maternal mother was in England. Why was she in England? Because as a 1-year-old, her son, I was a 1-year-old here in Anguilla, she left Anguilla to go to England to work in the factories to support me. To support me. When people ask and wonder why I came back to Anguilla, why I came back to this island, that my home, is because I had a huge obligation. The opportunities that I had that were given to me by my community here. Uncle Frank, who is in United States at the moment, Sister Elfrida Hughes, Belter's wife, and a number of persons in this district, they were my family. You talk about a community, they were my family. They were one of many. Teacher Oma, who's passed on, who took me up before the minister, when many others were probably looking down, she was there with my mom. I came back because God gave me the opportunity to go to England, to fulfill a dream that many thought was a pipe dream of being a professional cricketer. Ended up playing in Australia for 9 years. But in my heart, there was a voice saying, why are you in Australia coaching Australians? Why are you not in Anguilla finding a cricketer to play for the West Indies? Omari wasn't the first, Shaka Hodge was. And many others, Jamar Hamilton. K.C. Carter, even though born in St. Martin from an Anguillan father, he played for Anguilla from the age of 13. And if you check his stats, he's still registered as Anguilla. So I get back to those 4 young boys. Because I realized that even though they will call me, well, 2 of them at least, to take them to cycling, or to golf training, or to the sailing school in Sandy Ground, or when one who has to play for his high school team in football, he could call me. He could call me. That is my obligation to these youngsters. But I cannot do it alone, and I don't profess that I'm doing it alone. We need to look out for our youngsters. We need to look out for our youth. And a lot of the time, when we are blaming the youth, we as grown men and women need to look at ourselves first and said whether or not have we passed on to them what was passed on to us. One of the things that concerns me greatly is why are we talking about not having the, as an Anguillan, you don't have the right to vote? Are they being serious? When you think that for years, women, black people in South Africa, United States, weren't given the right to vote. People like Dr. King, who died fighting to give black people the right to vote. And our very own is trying to stop our Anguillians who left these shores half the time as illegals. To make life better for us here in Anguilla, send the first probable paycheck they got to build a home. To build a home here in Anguilla, because Anguilla is their home. And we've got people who've invested overseas and then going to say that being an Anguillian doesn't give you the right to vote. Are they really serious? I'm hurt by all of this. But you know what? That message is not just for the Anguillians overseas. It's for all of us here. Remember COVID? Remember COVID. Whether you like it or not, if you were overseas, you couldn't get back. You had the right to vote, but you couldn't get back. Right now, you've got the right to vote, but some want to stop you from coming back to vote. Why? The other issue is, why do Anguillians have to come back home to vote when persons from overseas can stay here and vote in their country and probably still go to the polls and vote here in Anguilla? Joseph Vanterpool, our .ai ban. We talk about .ai is the new thing in technology today. The first thing, and the millions of dollars we get from .ai, those Anguillians who might be overseas right now, but their hearts and souls are here. We have to make sure that wherever they are, if they go to the moon as an astronaut, they still can vote here in Anguilla at the next general election. Maybe not 2025, but 2030. That's what has to happen. There's an issue that I have to get back to the single parents. And single parents doesn't mean just the mother, but we know, unfortunately, in our society, it is mainly the mother that is left holding the baby, left holding the child. There's a mother that said to me 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, if she had the money, she would take her children to England. If Anguilla is doing so good, if we profess that Anguilla is the best place to be. In fact, is Shelia still around? Shelia owes me an apology. Shelia owes herself an apology. Shelia owes the people of Anguilla an apology, whether they're home or abroad. Shelia owes the tourist board an apology, but especially herself and a very good friend, Donna Banks. Because Shelia said for 3 consecutive years, I bet you none of you can hold your breath for 1 year. Maybe 10 minutes? Well, that's maybe impossible. Maybe Jose and where's our other scuba man? Where's Devon? Maybe they could do it. The fact is, for 4 years running, for 4 consecutive years, Anguilla was voted #1 in the Caribbean, Bahamas and Bermuda. Sell your shoulder short by 1 year. And during that time, remember the challenges that we had. Remember the challenges that we had. We had to deal with the banking crisis. And I'll tell you one thing, this gentleman here to my left, I've respected him from the first day I met him, and I'll respect him until my eyes are closed. I promise you, one of the most challenging times, Irma was challenging, but you know what was really challenging? When we realized the issue that we were having with the banks. The issue that we were having, because if Anguillians and anybody who had money in the banks, if they had gone and had a rush on the bank, we would have had huge problems. For 2 weeks, I did not sleep well. And I probably for our Premier, Chief Minister and then Premier, the Honorable Victor Banks, it'll be more sleepless nights. So Victor and Premier, I thank you so much. I thank you for the autonomy you gave me. You often said, you compared myself, who was a parliamentary secretary, Everly Bradley, being elected, you say you're all on the same level. And I promise you, he treated me that way. When I needed help and support, I could go to him. When persons needed help and support and asked of me, the next question they asked, where's Victor's office? But that's the type of person he was, And that's the type of person he is. So again, when you consider that for 4 years running, we in Anguilla was voted #1 in the Caribbean, Bahamas, and Bahama. Yes, and blow the horns because they deserve that to happen. The fact that as soon as the APM got into office, what did they do? They forgot about, in fact, the Honorable Hayden Hughes should not have forgotten about it. I gave him the trophy for the last year. Unfortunately for him and for Anguilla, it won't happen again, will it? Because from 2020 up to now, we've lost that #1 spot. You know why we lost that #1 spot? Because the number of people, the number of guests that continue to come back to Anguilla, they say the #1 asset in Anguilla is what? Is the people of Anguilla. But the way our people have been treated for the last 4, almost 5 years, how can we seriously say that Anguilla is the best in the Caribbean? The quality of any nation is about their people. And we cannot treat our people the way that these guys are doing that. Getting back again to the single mother. If we want to build Anguilla, we need to build it from within. If our parents, our young parents are struggling, we need to find a way to help them. Growing up, the community was there. Now the community, and I see there's a lady here tonight who are getting in a situation where, hope she don't mind me saying it, but would have lost a daughter a couple of years back. And you know what she said to me? Mr. Connor, I'm not sure how I'm going to manage. I've got 3 children, 3 young children to raise. I can't retire. This is a grandmother who's finished work not long ago. We talk about the amount of money that's coming in, the amount of taxpayers' dollars that we're giving to, not giving to government, government's taking from us. The .ai money that's coming in. How about building a nation? How about building a people? Sure, concrete is okay. I'm not going to talk about you can't eat concrete. You could build the most attractive building in the world, but unless a human being is in that building, there's no life to it. If Anguilla needs to have life, we have to invest the life in our people. We have to invest in our young people. We have to respect our mothers. We have to respect our grandmothers who are forced to work to make ends meet. Government, Madam Leader and team, as we get into office, that's going to be our #1 priority. We have to bring back our community. We have to bring it back, and it starts in a home. It's easy to blame people that are saying that the problem's in the home. Maybe the problem's all around us because we're not sure what's happening in the home. Have you bothered to reach out to ask what is really happening in the home? Probably not, but you're probably judging. Not probably, we are judging. The person that died yesterday, or two nights ago, why did he die? He died in a car accident. Why? Of course there'll be accidents. But sometimes if you're driving and overtaking, and I need a number of the ministers of government to come near the Bedden as well at some point in time, in fact the Rogers well, and see what is happening. There is a death there waiting to happen because of the speeds that they go there. There's no point having a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Who pays attention to it? They don't. They don't. When I heard that this gentleman had died, I was afraid it was along that stretch. When you go home tonight, in fact, probably not tonight, focus on the road. But the next time you drive to West End, when you come past the lights, have a look along the sides of the road. You see the number of tracks where they're leaving the road. The cars are leaving the road and going into the bush. A number of our people in my community, in our community in District 7, they need to walk in order to exercise for their health reasons, not because they want to look pretty. They need to do that. But you know what's happening? They're refusing to do that now. You might be walking to get fit because the doctor says you have to do that. But what's happening along the sides of a road or along the roads, that's the quick death. But we cannot afford for that to happen. We have to put legislation in place and follow through on it. You should not be coming through my community or any community in Anguilla for that matter at that speed and run the risk of killing a mother, a father, or a child. That is not the way to go. It is not the way to go. Fellow Anguillians, and all of you who've turned out tonight, in fact, I was speaking to one of my mentors, the one who bashes my ear when he thinks that I need to pay more attention. And he said to me, "What are you going to talk about tonight?" I went through what I'm going to reiterate, the role I play in my community. He said, "You don't need to do that anymore. The people of Webster know what you do. The people of Webster know what you do." I want to take this opportunity tonight to thank so many people in this community. So many people in this community, because the perception is that whatever you do, you're doing it for politics. But my people know that before politics, I was there for them. And I will be there for them after politics. But I promise you, as much as I would like to think that I've achieved this and I've achieved that, just like being a professional cricketer where you need a team, I've got a team of unsung heroes here in West End. I've got a team of unsung heroes that are in England. When we have a challenge that Anguillians are forced to leave to go to England, Robert Williams, Jonathan Gums, Grace Carter Vanterpool, Nat Vanterpool, and many others, who the Premier and his team want to say they're not allowed to come home to vote, we can reach out to them. And we got to respect them for that, and I thank them for that. For my AUF family, not just these guys here, because if it was just us here tonight, we wouldn't have the same atmosphere. I thank you all. My cousin, where is she? Where's Manelva? She's there. I love you. I love you. This lady, again, over the last month, couple of months, been through some trying times. And our Madam Leader came and was able to help a number of other persons. The names that I mentioned, Robert Williams, again, thank you for the role that you play. There's so many people here individually who've turned out. The voice, the cheerleader, Mr. Smith, I thank you for what you do. But all of you who are here, we cannot do it. We as the Anguilla United Front team cannot do it without you. You're part of the team. You're part of the team, and as we go forward, we will not do as the others have done. We will continue to listen to you. I said listen, not just hear, we listen. We won't talk about noises. We will listen to what you have to say, because as we go, you go. The other thing I want to say is that at the last general election, and people are allowed to vote for who they want, but it's a bigger man or a bigger woman who can admit when they made a mistake. We've got two here in the midst. Pat Martinbrough is our MC tonight. But there's something about Kyle Hodge that I respect dearly. For a long time, people in Anguilla, or politics around the world, it is believed that politicians are in it for what they can get. And most people think it's opportunity and money. Well, this man here with a young family, a young wife and young family, he made a commitment to you during the campaign of 2020. And the bigger he is a man, that he decided that he will stick with his people. He's decided he will stick with his people. That's why he's here today. Please, yes, put your hands together. So I admire that in him. I admire in those who we know that we know that supported them profusely the last general election, but they are prepared to come out now to say to the people of Anguilla, we got it wrong. They got it terribly wrong. But you know what? Saying you got it wrong isn't always the answer. You've got to find a way to fix it. And those were the words. The Honorable Victor Banks, whenever we had a challenge, all he said, we got to find a way to fix it. Not to blame, not to send around crazy memes and all that stuff. To me, I don't bother pay attention to that. It reminded me of the days that what made me a cricketer at Hampshire for 15 years as a professional. If any of you follow the game of cricket, they have the mics near the phone. They're going to talk in your ear. The players are going to talk in your ear. They're going to call you all names. They'll tell you don't know who your father is or who they know who your mother is. But it's up to you as the batsman or the bowler to focus on what your job is. Kyle said he jumped off the ship. You know what Kyle's focus was? Kyle saw the light. He saw the light. And you know what? When you see the light, he knew where he was going. He knew where he was going. The same with me. My focus is what I can do for my people. Thank you. That is my focus. God bless you. Over the next coming months, weeks, we'll have other meetings. There are a number of issues that I need to touch. Sports, the development of sports is one. We are very hypocritical as a people at times. We accept our achievers when they achieve, but we're not there to invest from the ground up. From the ground up, that's where it starts. We talk about our youth here today or tonight. It is vitally important that we make sure we invest in our youth in order to get that future. We talk about the senior citizens. Without them, we wouldn't be here, literally wouldn't be here. Growing up in this society and throughout Anguilla, it was their leadership that helped to mold majority of us. I know it's been a long evening, so my fellow Anguillians, home and abroad, those who are out there, you come home to vote. You vote for your future. Those who are here, you vote for the party that you know or the team that's going to make your life better. In District 1, please vote for Claude. In 2, the Honorable, the future Premier of Anguilla, Cora Richardson Hodge, and not too distant future, but in 2025. In District 3, the pocket rocket, I would like to call her, Shelia Rogers Webster. You thought Jamaica had a champion? You know, Shelia Rogers is our champion. In 4, Cordell Richardson. That's the man. Devon Cardi. In 5, Pat Martinborough, a man who's had his feet on the streets for years, supporting others. It's time that people support him now. In District 7, Card is the one, as Benji would say. Thank you all so much for turning out. But one thing though, one thing I will say before I go. All of those names that I mentioned in districts, to us it means nothing if you don't vote for our team. And our team of island-wide candidates, it is vitally important. It makes life so much easier. For you in District 7, you say that Card is the one you want to vote for. If you're voting for me, it's not 1 vote. It is 5 votes. And 4 of those are island-wide. I will come around and make sure that you get that true understanding. It's 5 votes and it's 5 lights in every district. In every district. May God continue to bless you, and may God continue to bless Anguilla. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Not a sense some had in their name. Couldn't hold a job, boy, because of shame. All of a sudden, like they lose their blight.
District 7, thank you for having us. And to the people on the social media, including my good friend Jamie, I see that you're WhatsApping me straight. This is just the beginning. That's all I have to say. So thank everyone for coming out. And our next move will be in District 6. So you know, get ready, get prepared, and be there. We have a lot to share. And if you think you have heard anything, wait for 6. So Anguilla, thank you very much for listening to us. And for those who are on their journey home, get home safe and stay safe, and see you on Saturday in District 6. Thank you very much. Good night, and God bless Anguilla, and God bless.